name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is October 1st, 2025. It is 4:42 a.m. So I just finished edit whatever I did yesterday. So I want to get some recording out of the way because it's quiet. All right, so let's go on Twitter. This is the first tweet. Brown, Carolyn Bessette and Duchess Meghan both fell apart because of the media. Okay. I don't know much about Carolyn Bessette. That's the wife of JFK Jr. Wife. They both died in an airplane accident. I was in college. I remember exactly where I was when I heard this particular news. I went to summer school because I wanted to finish early. I took a class over the summer, and then before my class, and we were talking about it. But what's the connect fell apart? So how old was she? Meghan was much younger. There would be no connection. What are they trying to make here in terms of age difference? Let me see. Let me go search in terms of age. How old Carolyn Bessette was when she passed? Okay, so she passed July 16, 1999. So I remember it was over the summer. I took a summer class. So July 16, 1999, she was 33. So the age gap is completely way. I don't know what's the connection this particular voice is trying to make. But that was me. This is what I post here. A prayer for protection. Lord, I pray for your divine protection upon my life as I embark on this new day. Hold me close to you, keeping away all the harms and dangers that may come my way. Surround me with your shield of protection and strength. Amen. Whenever these people are doing things like this, it was a tragic over there between JFK and Bessette, Carolyn Bessette. So I don't know what they're trying to do. So I just told this prayer for protection. Let's see what other people are saying here. She's thriving now. It never fails. Tina Brown. Oh, so it was her. What was that? Oh, Brown. So it was Tina Brown. Okay, it's never failed. Tina Brown back with a knife in her hand to do what she does best, backstabbing. She's like the weather. It's Meghan's turn now. Some topics are not worthy of discussion. This is one of them. Leave Meghan alone. When people can control you, they try to control how people view you. What the F is wrong with Tina Brown and her obsessive behavior toward Meghan? 10 minutes with Princess Diana doesn't make Tina Brown a royal expert. After these three, that's it. Bottom up. Let's pause that. They aren't being subtle with their fantasies, are they? Harry is paranoid like Diana. Meghan had falling apart like CBK. The British media really needs to just say, quote, we wish these two who died already so we can monetize them without fear of correction. Probably. Maybe this is the connection. God, this is why I throw the prayer as well, because whenever they throw something like that and then they're comparing with a tragic thing that happened, you just have to throw prayer out there. My goodness, what Kate's excuse for behaving and lack of achievement. Okay, Meghan doesn't need to find herself. She knows exactly who she is, and she shouldn't have to hide to spare the crazies. It sucks when you're constantly reminded that the awful person you've made up and your head is actually sweet, intelligent, talented, and endearing. The other thing, maybe, this is probably another distraction. I say again because I have said it in past video. This is the first tweet, so I didn't say anything yet. They're trying to distract people. because things that I see is going on, let's say in Italy, France, the people are rising up. All right? The people are rising up because of what's going on in the Middle East. Israel create this fantasy of Hamas who did the kidnap, but it seems like they control the narrative, which the hostage they release, then this and that, there's peace talk, there's ceasefire. They're controlling everything. So the media in the US, they put a nozzle in their mouth. They can't really, they can't say what's going on. All right, all the good journalists that were writing for the papers, I spoke about them last year, the year before. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, I don't know, other newspapers in the US that I spoke about, where they try to hijack the papers. I mean, they already bought it, but they try to do things where it's against the ethical behavior of journalists. Some of them had to leave, and they will not allow them to report on things that really matters. So the Middle East, I don't know what they're trying to do. Well, we sort of know. They want to take over Palestine. And then they do not want people to report on it. There's so many journalists that pass, that they kill over there. So they really want people to get upset. They want people in the US, especially Black Americans, to be upset, go on the street and protest. That's what I mean by that. And do all sort of things. Now, not only the US, the media, I don't watch cable news, so I don't know what they're saying, but they put a nozzle on their mouth. They can't really talk what's going on. The people in the US, they actually are being, what will you call that? They're putting ice out there to catch people and things like that. They're claiming it's for immigrants, but no, it's for the American people. You see what's going on in Italy. The people are calling foul because nobody is doing anything in Palestine. I think there's like a shutdown that's going on. Let me go check it and show you. And by the way, I'm done with this. The next tweet that I go, it will be a new one. Let me search something about Italy, if there's anything that I could share with you. All right, so there's this, for instance, here. All right, September 22. We're already in October 1st. Pro-Palestine protesters shut down all of Italy as workers from all sectors, including railways, ports, school, and public services walk out with one call: end the genocide. Okay? So I'm going to go with it really quickly. I don't know if anybody who has cable TV are seeing all of this. It is a massacre that's going on over there. And I'm telling you, Americans, with the exception, unfortunately, even blacks, I was going to say, except the 92%ers, but we fall under the umbrella of the entire country. But white American and the things that's going on, for the way that they voted, they will be isolated around the world. Maybe there will be a little leeway for the 92%ers because the result of the 2024 election speaks volume for America. Now, the reason why people are not protesting, I don't know. I cannot. African American already said they're out. Okay? They're out. But white American, who pretty much the ball is in your corner to do the right thing. So they're throwing all these BS out there, those nonsense about Caroline Kennedy. Well, technically, Carolyn Bessette. I don't know if she had taken JFK Jr.'s last name, but Carolyn Bessette, that's what I meant by that. Meghan and all of that, to get people upset. I cannot believe. Okay, there's all of this going on in Italy. Let me read this here. Italy. Not one mention in the UK media about the huge protest yesterday in Italy. Protest against von der Leyen's decision that billions euro EU citizen taxes will now be spent on war and weapons. No one asked them, and they say no. My goodness. They were crafted. These people. I'm not talking about the people. We the people, like me, myself, and other countries. Like the other day, I was saying that when you put all the little people around the world to vote, okay, for something ethical issues, the majority of the time, the people will vote the right way. But these people who hijack every form of communication, government, and all of that, they're making the rest of the world look bad. Okay, so there's all of this going on. Protests everywhere. Because the government, their government, are not doing anything. And I think all has to do with the Epstein list. And the thing that happened in the US, where they call all the generals. Let me see if I could find it. I'm completely off now. Okay, so there's this here. This is the nonsense they're showing on TV in the US. He just hit his nuts. All right? Pretending distraction instead of talking of real issue. So there's this here, for instance. All right? It started, can I see it? This is something that I retweeted. It started caption this. But the thing is that they call all the generals in the US military. I don't know what. I didn't really follow it, but I'm aware of it to talk to them about it, because they will do the right thing. The only people left who can take America back. And then when I retweet it and I say exactly this. It's distraction they're creating. Distraction. There is a massive thing that these power-hungry, money-hungry people are trying to do. It's unbelievable. It's evil. It's evil that's taking over. But yet they're distracting us on stupidity. Things like this. Oh, not that. Where's the first tweet that I was? This tweet. The US, the UK, Canada, even though Canada has tried its best to throw food in the air for the Palestinian, but the MAGA type within these respective countries, especially the UK. The UK, you may not see them forefront. Right now is the US that's forefront with all those BS to support the genocide that's going on in the Middle East. The UK is right behind it. It's just that they're hiding behind the US to do what needs to be done. It's evil. They're throwing this nonsense to disrupt, to not only disrupt, to the squirrel type of thing, distract. All right, so I'm done with this, and I raised a lot of other issues just because of that. Because I was trying to understand why will they compare Meghan, even though I did not read the article, but the comparison, there is absolutely no comparison here. Age gap, completely different. Meghan was born in the 80s, Bessette in the 60s, is like 20 years apart. And then they died. This couple died. What are they trying to do? Okay, so I threw that prayer of protection. All right, let's go to the next tweet. It's unbelievable. All right. Firstly, how dare, who's this person here? Anthony Albanese invite these two parasites to visit Australia. If they dare to infect our shores, I will take time off work to personally heckle them at every step they make. We don't want them in our country. Charles and Camilla were bad enough. These two are worse. I don't know. Prince William and Princess Catherine are set to make a major Royal Australia tour announcement after Prime Minister Anthony Albanese extend a historic invitation. I don't know. Let's see here. I love how they are being bullied into work. Once the Prime Minister made the invitation known, they have no choice now but accept, and British media is going to push for it. There's a laugh here, but William hates these tours, and they are Kate's nightmare because they are both so bad at them. Well, the Prime Minister kept it very quiet. Normally, he'd tweet about things like this. His own party won't want this tour to happen. It's the right-wing press announcing it. Okay, so William didn't see Charles this weekend then. You're kidding me, OMG. William and Kate coming to Australia to do what exactly? It's distraction. They want as much distraction as possible. If, for instance, African American were on the street in the US, okay, you see the chaos and there'll be martial law. I mean, African American then give them that satisfaction to implement martial law. So instead, they're throwing ICE agent out there to pick up anybody. Okay, so that would have been the distraction. So the UK will be talking about the martial law that's going on in the US and things like that. So African American are not giving them that satisfaction. So they're sending these two to go perform so they could write about them. Okay, more distraction to further put the blinder on people. All right, you kidding me? OMG, William and Kate coming to Australia to do what exactly? I have family out there in that beautiful country of yours, and now I have to warn them. There's a laugh here. Well, I trust the Aussies to give them the welcome they deserve, including Harry and Meghan banners, especially of Harry. It would be a spectacular waste of our tax dollars so soon after Charles and Camilla, and for no benefit at all. Any such visit will not be looked on kindly by ordinary Australians who are feeling cost of living pressure. I totally agree, and I feel for you. Not only are they being paid by our taxpayers to do something close to nothing, but you guys will also be paying a hefty amount for a super rich couple at a time when people are struggling financially. They also make no personal donation. I thought KP said they won't do any more royal tours. Okay, I doubt they come because too lazy. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. Oh my god, there's already 5. So I need to finish everything that I have on my list here. Okay, so there's some videos here. It seems some in the British media, unlike the derangers, are questioning King Charles and Prince William's part in this leak and the general state of the monarchy after Prince Harry's week in the UK. Alright, so there's no comment. Let's listen to this. This one is 1 minute and 45 seconds.
There is an air of truth to this, isn't there? The idea that insiders are trying to put a stop to this. The idea that it was a very formal meeting is frankly ridiculous.
I mean, yes, you know, we've seen Harry time and time again have these meetings and go back and tell everybody what was said. Now, the reports that are coming out are saying that...
There is an...
Let's go back. When was Harry ever, after he finished a meeting, and go tell everybody what it is about? Several times he had visited, well, not several times, when he was doing the Invictus, leading up to the 2025, whatever, the Canada Invictus. When they announced his father had cancer, he flew over there to see his father. And then William Reeves, that Superman's son, William Reeves was interviewing him for ABC News in the US. He specifically asked what was the talk between him and his father. He didn't say anything. So where are these people? Oh my God. This is the nonsense that they're creating to distract people. All right.
They're saying that it was a formal meeting and they're saying that a gift was given. That's all that they've come up with. They haven't actually said what was spoken about at that meeting. So I do not think that Harry's going around telling anybody about this meeting. I think he does want reconciliation. I think he does want to be back in the fold and actually be working with the family again. I know he's spoken about, time and time again, wanting to do a little bit of royal meetings, a little bit of work here and there. And I think that...
No, he hasn't. He has not.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family?
Anderson Cooper specifically asked him if he wants to go back as working royal. He said no. And he didn't even think twice. And when he was leaving after the Sandrium Summit, and he did a speech during the Santa Bali before he left the UK to go meet Meghan in Canada. Okay? He told the world that he will continue to do the same thing that he was doing without public funding.
Here to serve. For those reasons, it brings me great sadness that it has come to this. The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option. What I want to make clear is, we're not walking away. And we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth, and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to. It has been our privilege to serve you, and we will continue to lead a life of service. So in that respect, nothing changes.
Okay? But these people make up shit anyway.
What we gather is that the king may have said, no, it's all in or all out, just like the Queen said before. But I don't see a problem with this half in, half out, because if you look at all the figures of all
Half in, half out the window. It's done with. I spoke about it on one of the videos that I did yesterday. The half in and half out, it's no longer valid anymore, because now Heavy has major business contract to deal with people. So now the half in and half out, when he was signing contract with, let's say, Netflix or other companies or individuals he's making business with, the half in and half out was never in his mind, because that was eliminated by the royal family. They told him all out. So when he's making decision, okay, his mind is not into doing any work for the royal family. All right. So if the half in and half out was given to him, so when he's making deals with people like Netflix and other companies, let's say Better Up as well, there will be some sort of a clause or stipulation at a certain time of the year. I will not be able to fulfill certain duties for you because I'll be in the UK to do work for my family. So these type of things are no longer valid, and he can do that because he just signed or re-signed a deal with Netflix. So which means there's no half in and half out in the stipulation within the contract. I will 100% bet on it. There's no clause where he will be going to the UK to do work for his royal family. There might be something where certain time I'll be doing some work overseas, who knows, maybe the UK or Africa. So the half in and half out is zilch. No way. They refuse it, so it's too bad for them.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Gets the yet unheard of Zorro snap in Z formation.
all the other royals that are doing public engagements. Some years, Prince William does a lot less engagements than Princess Anne, for instance. So does that mean that year that Prince William was half out? No, it doesn't. It's ridiculous. The royals doing public events and public engagements, whether they do 5 public engagements a year or 200, they're still actually helping the royal family. So why is it that, Harry's not helping? And it makes pure sense, especially in this moment.
Why Harry's not helping? Because they kick him out. And I'm telling you, these people, they put a blinder on and they put their hands in their ears and like la 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 as Harry talking to them. During the Oprah interview, Harry and Meghan said they would have stayed.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
As much respect.
With as much
and,
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
But the royal family kicked them out, and this is why Harry said he made sure to do the exit process properly.
And we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been done.
So they don't come and say shit like this and say, oh, we didn't say it like that. We said this instead. When at the time they wanted to kick them out. So
the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Harry made sure they did the exit process properly. So now they're coming with all of those BS.
In time when we've got an ill king who, we don't know how long he can carry on with his public duties. We really don't.
Okay, so that's the leftovers problem, not Harry's problem. He goes visit his father as father and son, not as his boss or anything like that.
Amazing person as he is, he sort of pushes and strives along, but I don't see that Harry's gone off and told anybody anything. I think it's all been sort of made up, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, certainly any of the people I've spoken to, and so the journalists here in the newsroom behind us, they're all, you all think that this doesn't sound as though this was leaked by Harry. It really doesn't, because he's clearly very upset that any of it is in the papers, and he's saying that quite a few of the facts are actually untrue, demonstrably untrue, he says.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't Harry, then who was it? Now, he is sort of talking about the men in grey suits, which I'm afraid is the way Princess Diana used to talk, that people in the grey suits, the courtiers around, were briefing against her. And I can't help wondering now whether the courtiers think, frankly, it's better now if Harry stays away. So they're trying everything they can to keep him away.
Well, exactly. I mean, we don't actually know where it's coming from, like you said, and like you say, the men in grey suits. There are people like that within any business, as we know. There's people in the household that might not want the king seeing a certain person, so they might try and keep the king from seeing a certain person. They might suddenly have an idea that they don't like a certain person, so they might.
This is the problem, okay? This is why Harry wanted the separation between private and public. Private, that's family issues. The courtiers should get to butt out. But the courtiers are involved in every aspect of the royal family's lives. And you know who caused that? Charles. Okay? Well, they trained him since he was young to be buddy up with the courtiers. Don't know any difference. But Harry wanted the separation. When he wants to visit his father, he could go and visit his father. It's like every time they're supposed to meet someone in the family, a family member wants to meet a family member, they have to make a appointment and this and that. It's so freaking ridiculous. Yes, I can understand. You could tell your family, okay, tomorrow I'm coming to have dinner. I'm coming to talk to you about this, da. But they have to make a freaking appointment.
So what would you say small is?
Well, we ran the Princess Diana operation worldwide ultimately on me, 3 secretaries, and a few support staff.
And Prince Charles' staff at that time, how many people?
Well, it was knocking over a couple of hundred, I think. But I mean, that's not a strictly fair comparison. But the point I make is that we wanted to be different. We wanted to be seen to be more responsive, more nimble, but also, more cost conscious. And can I tell a little story?
Please.
Before they split up, Charles and Diana twice a year would have a program meeting where they would sit with their staffs and plan their diaries for the next 6 months. And this had obviously begun when the Prince was a bachelor, as a kind of a get-together with his close advisors to decide what they were going to do. And it had morphed into this huge meeting. The Prince's people on one side of a long table, and Diana and her people on the other. And the last couple of these meetings that we had, I can remember there was Diana and me, and maybe a lady in waiting. And there'd be maybe 20, 30, 40 people on the other side of the table. It was a stark visual reminder of what had happened to what had been previously a united household. But because we were that small, it reflected Diana's own preferences to be responsive, to react quickly to things, and she didn't like red tape. She was very good at doing her work, very disciplined, but she didn't like officialdom. So one time, the Prince of Wales was debating whether or not to do a particular engagement, and he wondered if his mother might do it instead, and his private secretary said, well, I will write a memo to the Queen's private secretary. And Diana leaned across the table and said, there's a telephone over there, why don't you pick it up and ask her yourself? And he did, like a man in a date. And he went to the telephone, he picked it up, he got put through to the Queen. The Queen said, yes, of course I'll do it. And he came and sat back at the table and looked at Diana as if she was some sort of a miracle worker, because everything else was a wonderful British bureaucracy. Diana knew how to cut through it to get what was required.
So Harry wanted a family relationship with his father, but the courtiers keeping it as a business completely when it comes to Harry.
Might try and push that person out of a job. And we've seen that time and time again in so many businesses, so many companies. So it doesn't seem unreasonable to think that that's happening in the palace either. Now, Harry's been away as long as he has. And, some people in the palace might think, why should he be coming back in? But it's not really down to them. And it's
there is an...
They're just talking nonsense. Harry already said he's done. He's not going to be as a working royal. He's just trying to create a relationship with his father. All right, next tweet. Let me pause. I'm about to cough. All right, let me hurry up. Well. Truth coming out from William and Kate defenders. All right, there's no comment. Let's go into that. I hope it's not something I already covered. Jeremy Vine. When Harry and Meghan got married, it was such a wonderful day for the whole nation. We all kind of fell in love with them. I think then William and Kate started briefing against them, and it all got out of control. I did, on one of the videos that I recorded yesterday, at first I thought it was slightly different from what he had said in the past, because I had a video where they were talking about that, but he's been saying that. He's been saying the same thing.
Is that the case?
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, and if we're talking about why this whole Harry Meghan thing started, it started because several years ago, if you cast your mind back, the Queen was and always will be the most popular royal, but second to that was Harry. It wasn't William and Kate. It was not William and Kate. And when Harry and Meghan became such a popular couple, it put everybody's noses out of joint. The establishment wanted to retain the monarchy as it was, to boost William and Kate, and the media the Daily Mail and the Telegraph in particular fed those lines.
Well,
drip,
I
drip,
don't.
drip,
I agree with everything until you said the last bit. I think that somebody in the palace decided to take them
Yes.
down a peg or two, and it went too far.
Absolutely.
But it's all history now, isn't it?
But it's not history because, for instance, if you take the media on, as Dawn will know, you
never win.
If you never win, but the media will always be at war with you, and the Daily Mail does everything drip, 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 poison.
And
daily
it's not like Harry and Meghan never use the media, of course. I mean, that Oprah Winfrey
if you were in that
interview-
position, you would fight back too. You would absolutely fight back too. I wouldn't.
And that coming from one of Meghan's tormentors, they all see it. They seen it from the get-go, and every now and then the truth slips through. Thanks who's that? Glowly, for speeding through these programs every day. You're doing the Lord's work while collecting receipts. All right, this is almost a minute, 58 seconds screenshot.
Thank you. What a nice message. Caroline with a K in Essex. Hello.
Hello.
Are you with a K?
I am with a K, and I'm rooting for Harry.
Okay, with an H. Yeah. So what's made you take Harry's? You basically want Harry and the King to be friends again, do you?
I most certainly do, and I think William is very much responsible for Harry and Meghan's ills.
There is a
Because he
very
was an
strong
indicted
argument.
Prince of Wales.
I think you might be
I
right.
wouldn't be at all surprised if he is sort of sorting it out to the press.
Yeah, I think what happened, I've always thought this, is that when Meghan and Harry got married, it was such a wonderful day for the whole nation. We all kind of fell in love with them. I think that William and Kate started briefing against them. I really do.
William and Kate.
And I think it went out of control. It went out of control.
Meghan.
I think that somebody in the palace decided to take them
Yes.
down a peg or two, and it went too far.
Absolutely.
But it's all history now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what happened, I've always thought this, is that when Meghan and Harry got married, it was such a wonderful day for the whole nation. We all kind of fell in love with them. I think that William and Kate started briefing against them. I really do.
William and Kate.
And I think it went out of control. It went out of control.
Meghan's so articulate.
Thank you. What a nice message.
So I think I covered this already, but let's read what's there for the sake of this video. Alright, we have an old saying in Ghana which sums up this situation. The elders used to say, mouth open, story jump out. They also used to say, drowning men will clutch at straws. When even Meghan's tormentors admit the truth, you know the rat runs deep. They all saw the smear campaign from day one, but cashing checks was easier than telling the truth. This is why I don't even see much about Omid Scobie anymore. So Omid Scobie, as one of the youngest over there, oh well, I don't know if he's still over there. He took the proper road. He used ethic. But these people, they only saw money and they threw their morals out the window. Every accidental slip just confirmed William and Kate were the architects of their own disgrace. Okay, I've always thought, saying the man who uses his show to deliver anti-Sussex content, he should have said that from day one. I think he has. I'll put the part, old clip that I have about him saying that. Something about you make your judgment. All right. At some point, they have to start smelling the coffee. They've known all these years that they're creating a monster in William. Now, after they whip Harry and Meghan for crimes they didn't commit, seeing the monster they've created and William scares them. Okay, it's so odd to me how these people. It's so odd to me how these people know the truth but will continue to lie on the Sussexes for access to the decaying corpses and a check. So true, because I can bear to watch these programs, so I won't have even seen this. What is going on, I wonder? Mouths are suddenly open on William and Kate. Alright, next tweet. Is that the same thing again? Or different caption? Alright. I'm not gonna play it again. When we have Willy's biggest cheerleaders admitting Willy and kiddies constant leaking to the press create much of the issue after Harry and Meghan got married. Alright, credit glowingly. All right, I played already. I'm just focusing on the comments. I think the personal star power of Harry during his recent visit made some of the press realize that Prince William and Kate don't bring much of anything to them. I mean, they've been knowing that. They've been knowing that because they want distraction. Like I was saying a few minutes ago, they want distraction. They are at their next phase in Palestine. Okay? So they want as much distraction as possible. Look at this. You have a son who went to visit his father and had tea or whatever they had. And then they're making a huge deal out of this simple meeting. They want as much distraction as possible. I do not know what is being shown in UK TV if they're talking about Palestine. And I'm not even 100% sure what they're talking about here in the US because I do not have cable. But there is a lot that's going on. And they're probably on the next phase of eliminate Palestine completely. All right. So barely do appearance or lackluster and poll numbers are dropping with the young. He's changed his tone today anyway. The people are not falling for the tabloid lies that keep coming out. All of this goes right back to William causing trouble because Harry is happily married and he is not. All right, let's go to the next tweet. UK Psych video. Okay, so this is another video. Did I play this again or is it something? September 30th. Okay. What happened to William's allegiance to King Charles? When Prince Harry and Meghan took Archie and left, royally screamed treason. Willy and Clive are clearly committing treason while Charles battled cancer. Where is the outcry? Why aren't royalists and the UK media outraged? It seems like William cannot wait for his turn. There's a lot of things. I didn't say the word treason, but I said something like he should wait. That's not his turn or something like that. All right, let's listen. 11 seconds. I'm not sure if this is new or old.
No, there is real tension between Charles and William. I mean, they do not like each other. They are not on the same page when it comes to how the country should be run. No, there is real tension between.
He's playing again. All right, William doesn't like his father, doesn't like his brother, doesn't seem to like his wife. Who does he get along with? Sycophant, probably. Willy is a vermin. We can only imagine what vile thing Willy is thinking. There's that. He's gonna end up with himself. All right. Clive Alderton and Peg's henchman Simon Case put Harry and his children's life at risk by influencing the outcome of the Warwick division on his security. I pray Prince Harry stays far away from his brother because he is a darn dangerous. He's too short-sighted to realize he's setting a really shitty tone for his own way. Yep, that is. He's teaching everyone how to undermine the monarch. Why Harry needs to burn the monarchy down. Jocaris. Willy and Clive are clearly committing treason while Charles battles cancer. That is, if there's truly cancer. But he's the liege man of life and limb. No. Oh, I'm reading everything. But he's the liege man of life and limb. No. All right, next tweet. Princess Anne. I just saw that and
Tanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together. Because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better